I feel like I want to tell you, job well done. There feels like there's been a huge collective shift, and as I'm saying this, I'm seeing oysters. So I wonder if some way that you have nurtured yourself through the process of clearing the energetic load that has been projected out into the ethers. It really feels like the projections and fuckery have been at an all time high, but I think the purpose of the divine showing this business behind the scenes that wouldn't otherwise be illuminated by this fuckery is that you would have carried on with blinders on, so to speak. And so I feel like people showed themselves who they were, masks fell off, and then you had the opportunity to adjust accordingly. And I feel like not only did you adjust accordingly for yourself, but you adjusted accordingly for the collective, holding the torch to carve out new energetic pathways on the planet, as I came up in the last reading, but also forge new connections as a leveling up of higher consciousness. So you might have found yourself shifting gears, so to speak, and take that as you will, because sometimes, like, if you're driving a manual transmission, you just coast, right? You kick it in neutral and just coast. Other times you have to adjust the gear settings based on how you're moving about or the terrain you're on. So I feel like there's some sort of accountability taken on your part as to what you can control and what you cannot. And you, like, exercised your rights, your personal rights to set boundaries, to clear your energy and own what energy is yours. And when you start to own your own energy, you vibrate higher because you're not tangled in the web of other chaotic, wow, I'm hearing chaotic conclusions. So chaotic conclusions others have created for you. So it's like people kind of hand you their energetic business, right, and expect you to, like, handle it. And I think it's because you handle it well, and I think you handle it without realizing you're handling it. Have you ever noticed that in the past things could have been a lot more burdensome or tiresome for you, and now as you start to tighten up those energetic boundaries, right, and learn to speak up for your peace, the things aren't so tiresome. It's because you're not doing that extra energetic load. Doesn't mean you're not going to continue to pick up debris or need to clean up here and there, tighten things up. So it's no different than, like, clean the house, dusting the corners, so to speak, something like that, or locking the doors. Take that as you will. Push record today because a song was coming in and that felt like a message, and I definitely got a collective shift. So it felt like whatever energies were projecting, it's like they've settled into their place and you've settled into yours. And I feel like it's not on parallel levels. It's like, I'm seeing a picture I saw in a post. It was like 3 tiers, not of like the Olympics where you get the medal, but similar to where you have 3 people standing on blocks to get awarded. And the number 3 kid, it's like a black and white picture, he's like so happy. He's like, yay. So it's like, it's like wherever you're at, you're happy where you're at. And you're not looking to level up, but essentially you are leveling up by the work that you choose to do and the accountability you choose to take for your own energy. Also setting up, lights are flickering, and I don't live in a very active house as far as I would say. I think when you grid your space, your space, and depending on where the divine selects for you to reside or inhabit in the community on a regular basis, you're kind of like pollinators where you're picking up energy, moving around, doing grid work without even thinking about it. So setting that, like, the grid work aside, but thinking about paranormal phenomena like flickering lights, or even flickering lights are usually like a signal to me no matter where I'm at, but it's, to me, it's not the same energy or coding as like picking up a feather, finding a penny, or a number synchronicity. I mean, you don't have to agree with me on that, and I don't have to be right, but that's how I take it. But my lights were flickering, like, oh my gosh, it was pretty intense. The strobe light effect for someone with a head injury it's not a good deal. So we'll see how the next couple days go. But I feel like there's something that you can't be ignored. But I also think that with that said, okay, let's pretend that flickering lights are a different frequency, load, and information code than that of your angels or ancestors. Guess, okay? So I'm going to take this as someone else knocking at the door. With this energy shift, let's say you believe in the twin flame karmic lineage, right? And you've been tangled in a twin flame path and dealing with a telepathic load, right? There has been a shift in the heaviness and I would say, they're giving me the word language right now, but I want to say volume to which that telepathic information can access your energy. I think the door's been shut in some way, or it's like there's an operator with that song Operator coming out. There's an operator like blocking the path, and you can ask your guide team or ask for a guide to guard certain energetic pathways in your vicinity or set them for a place. Right now I'm thinking about a guard that I met energetically at a cemetery, and I was told that that cemetery, it was a church, so like marked gravestones, a historic church in the state of Maryland. I was told that Native Americans were buried there, and it's my understanding that it was illegal at that time to bury Native Americans on the same land as that of a church cemetery. So there were apparently unmarked graves, and it was interesting that as soon as I stepped foot on that territory and went in one direction that I felt intuitively guided, I was met by a guide for that place saying, hey, don't go there. And I just, explain, I'm here in peace. I'm here in peace, just kind of checking things out. I mean, no harm, just checking in. There was no issues, but it was just interesting, and that's coming up, so I'm sharing that with you. I do have a recording of that, and I think I don't have any words, so that if you're watching that video, and I don't think I've ever spoken to it, you can have your own experience, so you're not filtered by what I experienced or what I saw or felt there, that you could read the land on your own terms. So I don't know why that's coming up, but sharing with you. Let me get back. Okay, so there was a shift, that heavy pull. What I got was, with that heavy telepathic pull, I was getting a lot of I'm sorry, and there have been waves of time when I would hear like mine, kind of like an archaic toxic masculine energy. Masculine, feminine, embodied, doesn't matter. It's more of like that caveman, mine, this is mine. They're telling me to think about this telepathic communication as reading Braille, that not all are able to understand or articulate the messages that are coming through, and it's more of like a learned sensory connection or understanding to the waves of communication that you potentially have access to, but not all choose to tap into. All right, that just in. And what I got from this heavy drain or pull to I'm sorry, like this pull to please reach out, because they know they can push your energetic buttons and get you to initiate and break no contact, that sort of thing. And it shifted to like, it almost felt like a sigh, a quiet sitting back in a chair of like, I'm sorry, you're not mine. Like coming to the understanding that their access is denied energetically, and they have no, think about like in the movie The Labyrinth, when she remembers, you have no power over me. And this isn't about you, maybe it's as a result of you not giving someone your energy or giving access or power, handing your power over, your personal power over to someone. But I think it's realization that the other party is now aware that they've got to shift gears in life in general. I hope that makes sense. Um, so that shift felt important to share. But the song that was coming up was my England Dan and John Ford Collie. I'd really love to see you. I didn't write the other E. To see you tonight. And that comes from the album Nights Forever from 1976. And the lyrics are coming as, I'm not talking about moving in and I don't want to change your life. I really love to see you tonight. I really love to see you tonight. And I could hear that in like the chorus voice and then in his voice. And what was interesting, when I scrolled, I didn't know the lyrics were moving in. I thought it was, I didn't want to talk about the weather. Like, I don't want to talk small talk kind of thing is how I saw it. And I just scrolled through this website and I was on songfacts.com. There was somebody that commented, they thought the lyrics said religion. I don't want to talk religion. So there might be something to that there is something specific for you encoded in a message, or does that make sense? That there's some sort of relative understanding to your experience here. I did think it was important to share that moving forward in the lyrics is, I don't want to ask for promises so you don't have to change your life. I forgot the F there. We've both played the game before, so say I love you, then say goodbye. So take that as it resonates. I don't think this song and this message is for everyone. What I feel like is someone may try a different approach, right? If you're dealing with a karmic, they might try another approach to bait you in. If you've been, if you dealt with the bait and switch, not necessarily with the same person, but the same energy through different people in this lifetime. So there's an opportunity here for you to stand in your personal power and protect your personal sovereignty, your divine sovereignty at this point. And so it's up to you how you manage your energy, your time, and the karmic load that someone shows up with. It's up to them to do that work together. And how energetically codependent do you want to be in this lifetime? Because the divine has a plan for you. You have a purpose on this planet. The connections the divine brings to you, the energies that the divine brings to you, whether showing up the same in one person multiple times or through multiple people with the same energy multiple times. It's up to you how you transmute that energy and choose to level up. I'm seeing that number 3 with the sign with the kid again. I'll try to find that picture and put it in a post. You're meant to maintain your peace. There's a natural order, a divine order at play, divine timing at play. And with those waves, those current waves, think of weather and tides simultaneously. And you could also throw in karmic lineage and the astrological omens or pools, right? So there's all these layers that are, it's like the weather energetically that's inviting you to either hunker in, chill out, or go out and enjoy the sunset shine. Does that make sense? So there's some sort of external drive to shift your behavior and actions, for better or worse. And I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, this is for the better. It's like, go out and enjoy some fresh air kind of energy. Go out and look at the stars kind of energy. And I actually did have that conversation with someone. I went to the grocery store, and I usually don't take like snow warnings very seriously, because it's like, you don't know if it's really gonna snow, but there's a hype, but there's definitely a hype right now, you know? And I was in the grocery store, and sometimes in this particular store, it's not around where I live now, but where I used to. It used to be my regular grocery store, and because I live close, it's like, sometimes I walk in the store and the lines would be so long, I'd be like, never mind, I'll come back later. Today, the day that I went there, was just like resigned to the fact that I'm going to wait in line. I'm going to wait, right? So I don't know why I'm telling you that. I guess the point is there's some sort of there's something relative to your experience. There's something encoded in your divine frequency, and there are activations available to you, right? And something else is either knocking on your door to pull you back, or something is knocking on your door to pull you forward. And it really is no right, wrong, good, or bad of which direction you choose, but it feels like you're at an access point, a pivotal point that is layered with your divine purpose. And some might call this a test. And reflecting back as you receive this so-called test, I would say more of this is a confirmation. So not to be afraid if something from your past comes knocking, to have a conversation, because I don't think you're going to look at that individual the same. Back to that line in the movie, "You don't have power over me." It's like the cord is cut, the game is played, like it's done, it's over, and you're forging forward, you're leading. I'm hearing leading anew, or leading. I'm hearing leading, so I'm trying to get back into that to see where I guess you're leading anew. I'll leave it at that. Let's see what the cards have to say. I didn't expect all that to come out. I hope I didn't talk too much about myself. I remember when I first started reading cards, this is my second channel. Sometimes I would get, the pull to share about myself, and I did not like it, but I do it. Sure, I'm gonna ask myself, but I try to keep myself out of it as much as possible now. Just so you can differentiate, what's mine, what's a message, and sometimes my experience is meant as a story for you to gather something, I do believe. I'm hearing variations, so maybe there's the same but different here. And sometimes it's nice to know that you're not alone. I'm thinking of a moment where I met someone, and I will forever be grateful for that moment, driving along the beach. And it was one of those things that if you took a deep breath and you exhaled, you would know that this is exactly what it's meant to be. But everything in the social norm and everything in the thinking mind, the mental body, would say, huh? And so maybe you're meant, I'm hearing cast a net. Ace of Swords. The truth. Ace of Swords is about truth. We've got the devil energy. So I think whatever is in excess has been laid to rest. You've learned how to put the sword down and sleep. Hermit, to go within. This is Queen of Wands. I want to say hazards. I don't know. I'm sorry. This will mess with me once it's like the flashing lights. I could get a little glitchy myself after something like that. I feel like you learn to manage your energy and find the peace. I don't know what. Might have been drained by something in the past, and with you cutting that cord or calling on Archangel Raphael for healing, Archangel Michael for protection, and went within, it allowed you to sit back on your throne and manage your energy. Queen of Wands, Hermit, the Devil, the Swords is on the table, Five of Pentacles. You weren't rejected. This was a moment for you with the Hermit card and the Queen of Wands for you to find your throne, to straighten your crown. I do take the spider as a healing energy. Not everyone feels that way. Interesting with here in Cast a Net, and we have this card here with the spider, 5 of Pentacles. I'm not going to go into that, but I think you could. I think if there's a message there for you, you can explore that. Hermit. You might have needed to rebuild your nest. You know, the weather comes. There's something very beautiful about the dew, the morning dew on. Cross. 9, 6. This is, I'm going to take this as having faith. Oh, shoot. And we have 6, 7 here. So 36, 25. Those of you who, the Norman deck is usually read in pairs. So taking whatever card flipped out and the bottom deck energy as our pair here. 9, 9, 7, 9, 7. I took the 6 and that up. 36, 25, ring, commitment, Ace of Wands, your passion. So I think, you know, I'm not going to take this as a committed connection. I'm going to take this with the Hermit card, the Ace of, the Queen of Wands. We've got ring and cross, a commitment. This is like Hierophant energy, you making a commitment to your mission on this planet. The 6 of Wands tells us there's a victory. The Ace of Wands saying you're following your passion and you're taking a step in that direction. The proposal, the BS planning a wedding, but that moment of putting on the ring is a moment in time. It is like the Ace of Wands. It's just a moment, whereas it sets the stage for what happens moving forward. And I feel like if the cross isn't your, something wasn't your cross to bear, so you could have tried to commit to something, or someone wanted you to commit to their burdens and you released that load. And that's where the 5 of Pentacles is coming, is that you weren't left out in the cold. You were protected from this because this wasn't meant for you to carry. The divine had something else for you to do with the 6 of Wands, this victory, right? There's more for you here than what someone wanted to give you. 3 Pentacles, you're meant to manifest new. So the seeds have been planted with the commitments you made and the path that was already destined for you, predestined, so to speak, but you had to choose to walk it. And the divine's doing all it can, think of the external circumstances, the weather, to prepare you for what your soul signed up to do. 5 of Wands, there's going to be a change here. And I feel like this is you blossoming. And with these little stars on the outside, and then with us talking about like the weather, these external circumstances, and the song is still coming up. And I haven't even played the song. Sometimes when a song comes to mind, I'll play the song. But before I talk to you, I look up the lyrics and I look up the year and the name. But yeah, the song is still playing. So this, for this, and with the 5 of Wands and this commitment to your divine sovereignty, just remind yourself that like, the critics have their place. These karmics have their place. And in this moment, there's an opportunity to thank them for helping you to learn your blind spot. Call in Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael for that healing and that protection, to learn where your blind spots are and clean it up. And I'm saying clean it up because I've gotten volleyball a couple times. Like the word volleyball just popped in my head. I was never a good player. And when I would, coached at the club level, I was never a good coach. like I don't have the skills. I just had, I don't know. I just did the things. But I was thinking about it, like maybe you know how like in the workplace, like you don't, no one wants to drop the ball. You got to keep the ball moving. So let's say volleyball, we don't want the ball to hit the floor, right? We don't want the ball to hit the floor. The idea is to keep the ball in play. And there's particular levels, skill sets of how tight the ref's going to call the game, right? A clean hit, clean pass, a clean set is different from one level to the next. The speed of the game is different from one level to the next, right? And I think that's where these variations in our experiences in the same but different, and the growth along your soul path is relevant here. Sharing this, I wasn't planning on putting this out there, but just Googling volleyball, they give me the 3 C's, and there's two sets of 3 C's. Control, consistency, and communication. And so I think this is you having a measured, perhaps stoic approach, being consistent with your psychic attunement, your psychic abilities, your commitment to we have the hermit and the ring and the cross, commitment to your divine mission, right? And communication, communicating with your team, and what communication you're going to turn down. Like, think about it. If you're getting ready to study for an exam, you're going to school, you're not going to have, some of y'all may listen to music, but let's say you go to the library that's quiet and there's not a lot of stimulation, right? Versus like a busy, crowded area where there's lots of noise in the background. Does that make sense? So learning what to tune out and what to tune in, because as you open up psychically, energetically, you can get lots of waves. So learning what doors to shut. And then the other 3 C's were communication, covers, and celebration. And I thought this was interesting because I do remember this about the sport, is that like after every play, every hit, whether, the ball got dropped or someone killed it, everyone just like huddled up, got, circled up, gave the high five or whatever. It's not high five. What is it? Like huddle up, hands in kind of thing. After a good, serve. So I took this as always reconnecting and reconnecting with your team, reconnecting with yourself, and control about, a skilled play, a set of standards. So this is your integrity at play in the game of life. All right, take that as it resonates. Man, I got a lot to say this morning. All right, something about this ring. Ruby red. This deck I'm holding is red. Maybe garnet is relevant to you. Doing some work with garnet. I also have frankincense and myrrh out today. Rosemary and roses. Sharing if that's relevant to you. Ancestor. Cherokee rose. 9. And the word leading is coming back up. Wild rose, the ancestor. Pioneer. As the deck splits, we'll just see what's up. 14. Prairie rose, caregiver. Forging new paths, the pioneer, caregiver. Lending a hand, leading the way for others, but you're also on a path, ancestor, with others who are helping you to lead the way. So it's like you're almost there. You're halfway there. You're further along than you realize. All right. Something about the golden chain might be relevant to you. Ringing in the new year, maybe. Sunshine wanted to flip. Okay. Maybe you make someone happy. I did talk about the crown, fish, casting a net. So with this telepathic communication, someone might want to pull you into their web, their telepathic web. And maybe you have been protected or guided out by external circumstances. Think about the tide and the weather, to where it just didn't line up for you to be caught in that web. All right, gonna leave it there. Do hope this serves well, as always, with any, I want to say, be your own leader of discernment, as with any reader advice or otherwise. Oh, the birds are out. I got two woodpeckers out. I think it's two. Yeah. I don't always see them on the ground. There's a couple of trees that they like, kind of medium size. I don't know what these other birds are. I've looked them up before, these other brown birds. All right, someone, child. Okay, so that's two. When I saw this, I felt like someone was being childish, casting the net and commitment. If we look at the dark side of the moon, be mindful of being baby trapped, or someone trying to plant a seed that not ready to nurture that full commitment. If you are in a loving, healthy relationship, and looking, oh my gosh, the word they gave me, I just wanted to laugh. Build a family. This is a good sign that, yeah, ring, cross, commitment, lady, child, that, yeah, things are lining up for a healthy, committed partnership. This isn't a one-size-fits-all. Even if I was doing a personal reading, I do hesitate to say green light or red. That might not be a woodpecker. It's got red markings on it. It's a bigger bird, but usually a woodpecker's a little bit larger. I'm gonna have to look up what that bird is, because there's more of them, because you usually don't see that many of them. Now I know why the cat likes this little spot. I've gotten a new hat in the house, and she likes to look at this door. Anyway, I am rambling. I think that's a good sign to move along here. I would say it's relevant to your experience. 14, 19, the number 9 is standing out as in what you want. And I think it's time to make that statement of what you want. So this could be vision boards, however you choose to manifest. Some of you put out, offerings as a part of your ritual to manifest, just giving thanks to the powers that be, and making that offering to the planet, to your guide team. All right. It does feel like there's more research, more to come, that, yeah. Six, seven. There's a progression here. Innovator, night. It does feel like forging new paths and something new coming together. It's like something new, but something that's also predestined. Okay. All right. Do hope this serves well. This idea of this child could also be healing inner child wounds, or someone wanting to give you their inner child wounds to heal, and you're not taking on that burden. So I don't want to say for all, don't want to dance in delusion for those of you who are dealing with karmic connections, that this is a sign that this is the one. Keep enduring the pain. If you are in a healthy relationship, and then, yeah, it could be go time. Be open to receive confirmation that this is healthy, and it is time to dive deeper into this connection. If you are dealing with karmic loads, it might be time to pay attention to what's being delivered to your door, and do you really want that energy for the long haul? Like, this energy that you are contemplating, whether you're in separation or receiving telepathic communication, or whether you're in contact and you're like, is this one, this is not, you're also picking up on what had happened in the past. So I think that's part of the question of going back and forth, is you've had your experiences in this lifetime. You're also picking up on the experiences you've had with this soul in previous lifetimes. You're also picking up on the patterns that the divine has handed you to announce. So you might need to announce what you want, or someone be announcing something. It could be some sort of announcement. Child came out twice now with the stork, so where was I going? Okay, well, I guess that's a good thought. Oh, you're also picking up on, like, not only do you have all the layers you deal with it yourself, you have all the layers that you can see within this other soul. And so you're kind of going back and forth, not only within your mental body, you're being called to break free of the mental imprisonment, shatter that illusion, and now open up to the new information to then know what steps to take forward. That's your Queen, Fix My Crown, ring commitment. All right, do hope this serves well. Sending you lots of love, light, and love.